Becoming the best player in yet another shooter is just a day in the life for me, and who am I? Ragtag, the greatest gutter-tier gamer on the face of this earth, but Xdefiant was going to be different, because my strategy for becoming the best was to grab an SMG and tear through my opponents at high speed. Unfortunately, turned out that I had a list of challenges that no longer allowed for such a playstyle, but becoming the best wasn't just about skill, it was about knowledge. And if all the good players were going to shred me up close and personal, they could instead wave at my TAC-50 sniper rifle from afar. The map today was Midway, a terrifying deserted theme park, and we had to stop our enemies from escorting a Boston Dynamics robot to the finish line. When the gates opened, our opponents would find my teammates right in their face, which was fine by me because in chess, the pawns go first. Off to a good start, I then sent my tactical flaming drone out as a warning to that flanking foe and fixed my eyes on the objective. A shield, eh? It appeared they were learning. Lucky for me, not everyone understood the value in standing behind the tank. There were 2 shields now and I had no idea how to stop them, but it didn't matter because there was I couldn't hear the footsteps. I began to question the utility of my sniper rifle as it became clear how difficult it was to slow down a stampeding horde that was armed to the teeth. The checkpoint was lost and we found ourselves navigating sandy terrain enclosed by an Egyptian-style structure. I also finally realized that I had a grenade to throw. No good deed goes unpunished though, and my punisher was eToy86. Hello there. Now was our chance to stop them as they funneled through a small choke point, and also, I was hungry for revenge. Oh, a salute. Then good kill, eToy86, you butthole! Perhaps this place would become my tomb, and our enemies would march right over it because they approached the halfway marker with ease. Maybe it was a mistake to put my trust in the sniper rifle, but then something happened that I did not expect. Was this luck? I certainly thought so. That was, until there was another. Another one! And another one! Then someone stole my kill, and this was an unacceptable outcome. A testosterone leaker, if you will, and that could only be rectified by getting closer. I threw out the flaming drone. I should have stayed where I was because the enemy team freely walked down that corridor I'd been sniping from, leaving me on the low ground with only one outcome. You know, I don't mind dying, but those emotes are so disrespectful! The red team were now past the second checkpoint and the final home stretch was all that was left. Just as well, I was on form today. 96.7%, the Reds had almost pushed it all the way. I had to drive them back, and the way to do that was to follow the golden rule of shooting. Get closer until you hit something. Sadly, that method has its drawbacks. I had to make it to the robot. It was now or never. We were going to settle with never. But now it was our turn to push the robot. We just had to do it faster than the red team. So off we went, and by we, I mean I stood in spawn for a bit, watching until it was safe to step out. But it turned out that when I emerged from base, I should have added scorching flames to my hazard watch list. Good job, idiot. Staying with the robot wasn't on the cards, so I chose a sneakier path, a higher calling, a supreme... Okay, that was absolutely horrible. Thankfully, redemption lurks around every corner. Hi, eToy86, so it's your redemption arc now, is it? The clock was ticking and our robot still hadn't gotten past the first checkpoint. We needed a couple of miracles, the first of which was provided by me remembering I had a grenade to throw. I think it was a dud. The second was a masterclass in how arthritis can sometimes result in top-tier flick shots. The robot had enough space and I left it to people who cared to escort it forward. The first checkpoint was ours. This next disaster you're looking at was an enemy I thought that my comrades would easily deal with, but he came out to pat the doggy, which was a no from me, so I set everything on fire, including myself. The robot marched onwards through the posh library with the fireplace while I did absolutely nothing, and after yet another stupid, unexceptional death, I wondered how my quest was going in becoming the best player in this game. Okay, out of the 6 people on my team, I was 6th. Not too bad. Besides, there's 12 players in total, so looking at all the scores, I'd be in... Wait. It had now dawned on me that our lack of progress was all my fault. And worse than that, we were now at the choke point where I'd single-handedly defended a push from their entire team last round. We had to break through. Whee! One down, but did they have a sniper waiting for us? Yes! Yes, they did, those suckers! Game recognized game, and I knew exactly where they'd be the next time. Not relocating was a foolish mistake from their part, one I fully intended to punish. I guess intent was all I had left. I had to deal with that sniper right now, or we'd never have time to push this robot to the end. Now to repeat what they did to us, take the corridor, use the high ground. The robot started to move, but a sneaky enemy trying to flank our rear meant that I had to abandon the fight in front because I didn't trust my squad one bit to turn around. Then it happened. My spirit was broken. I succumbed to despair and it felt as if all was lost. I mean, what hope was there to be found when I couldn't even compete with the reflexes and awareness of my enemies? But then I realized something profound, something that would change the course of this game. But the brain cells died faster than my short-term memory could recall whatever it was, and all I was left with was that I simply did not care. What I did know was that I needed the toilet, some painkillers, and a nap. So this game had to end, and end quickly. That was the space we needed, so I moved forward to dissuade the red team from regrouping. And watching this back, it has become clear that I may have suffered a minor stroke at that moment because I've no explanation for what transpired here at all. This was it. Our final push or all would be lost. I went on the right side, confident I'd recovered from my idiocy and vowed to give my team the space they needed. Oh look, it was the annihilator of dreams. The final moments ebbed away and my hope for victory with it. This game took pity on us by calling a 33% difference in score a close loss. But I knew in my heart that I had cost my team this game and becoming the best player in Xdefiant wouldn't happen with me as a sniper. So it was time for fresh tactics. Remember earlier when I said the golden rule of shooting was to get close enough until you hit something? Well, I decided to take it literally. Becoming the top player in this lobby would mean scoring points, and you'd score the most points by kicking that robot across the finish line. That and holding a ballistic shield to tank all the enemy bullets. The red team found themselves in deep waters, and what happened next is something best left as unexplained. While Fat J got some cardio in there, I was reminded of the harsh reality about forward-facing shields requiring more care in the direction I was looking at. This time, I left the flanking to my teammates and focused on getting that robot moving. As I recovered my health, now was a great opportunity for a grenade. Or a mine. Through the welcoming library once more, I knew exactly how to deal with the choke point this time. Ruthless aggression. At least it was a quick death, but now I knew how to stay on top of the scoreboard, and from here on outwards, the lead up to the second checkpoint was smooth sailing. That is, until I decided to dual attack 50 sniper rifle wielder with my slugs at medium range. Took me 3 weeks to get back from spawn, only to find out that my teammates were allergic to robots. If we were ever going to get this bucket of bolts across the finish line, then it would be by my hands only. But it didn't matter now because there was one final leg to clear, and our strategy was simple. Put my trust in the robot's ability to block bullets while trusting my team's ability to put down players in the open, and this round would be ours. Over 90% now. Behind the robot, I was completely safe. That is, until I got shot in the apricots. I may only have had 3 kills, but I was the top scorer in this lobby, and that instantly upgraded me to the team captain. So the captain's orders were to clear a path so I could push it the final few percent, but before that could happen, I needed to actually take a life or two, as 3 kills was just disgusting at this point. As I waited for my inexplicable super regeneration to kick in, Fat J was about to get his second duel with me. I led him towards the mine. But his mates joined in, ruining everything. Well, not quite everything. I'd seen enough, and amazingly, still not a single teammate understood the objective of stand next to robot equals win. So I did it for them. Now it was our turn to defend, and stopping the push would mean a different approach. Unfortunately, I didn't quite know what approach would be, and I tried to place down a mine, but instead pulled out my shield. A silly mistake, but then a worse mistake was thinking that I'd somehow fare better without it, so that's when this happened. Feeling foolish sometimes has its advantages because it can give way to rage. And rage isn't always a useless emotion, especially if you're holding a shield that was born to end lives. My fury quickly turned to panic, but I wasn't done surprising my enemies yet. I also surprised myself. After a couple more deaths that we really don't need to talk about, the red team were making good time past the first checkpoint and halfway to the second. A double barrel shotgun and a mine would make anyone rethink coming down this corridor. Yes, I shot my teammate. Let's just move on. Now, whilst I was enjoying the idea of my loadout, having to reload after 2 slugs meant I had the jiggles of ants in my pants every time I was empty. But the shield bought me precious seconds to continue contesting. The enemy also tried a sneaky flank, but I put something in the oven for them earlier and everything was going according to plan. Stop dueling snipers with a shotgun, ragtag, you absolute tool! Red team pushed it to 52%. 2 minutes 35 left on the clock. I was still the boss of this lobby and made my way back to the very place where I met my doom, this time exploring the corridor with both barrels. Revenge for Billy's better stuff, and a reminder for anyone else that the way is shut. Sadly, the red team couldn't take a hint, so I scheduled one of them in for a circumcision. And the one that got away didn't. I was catching up in kills now and still held the coveted top spot. The clock was ticking down in our favor, so I did what I always do in moments like these. Push the W key! And risked everything to crush whatever hope the red team had left. And it worked. Until I abandoned reason for madness, turning my back on my enemy. You would think I learned from my failure, but nay, back to the fray I went. Ramming speed initiated, and chaos at last became my ally. In the closing moments, I finally had my ultimate charged, but it mattered not. The clock ticked its last talk to 0, and our opponents had been stopped for good. The best player in this game was clearly me, because hugging the robot is worth more than anything else you can do in this mode, and my entire team agreed. Okay, 2 of them did, but that's good enough for me. Best player confirmed. Time to uninstall.